everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica and I make videos on luxury goods, sustainable fashion, and workwear. Today's video is going to be a chat with you video about a recent comment that I heard that made me think about my shopping mindset. And then I also wanted to reflect on what's kind of changed for me in the past year or so. So the first part of this video is going to be about the one in, one out rule. This is a rule that made a lot of sense to me, especially as a reseller. So if I wanted something new, I needed to be willing to get rid of something else. And I think when you're following that because there's something you really like, but you know you'd like it more in a slightly different size, in a slightly different color, in a slightly different variation of some kind, then that makes sense, right? You sell that one, you buy the new one that's going to really make you happy, that's going to continue to get the wear that you're going to continue to use, because the items already in your closet that you love, that you use, those are the most sustainable option that you can have. Recently, Tess Montgomery, one of my favorite sustainable fashion content creators on Instagram, is all about the one item a month. So for her, she buys one item a month, and that allows her to get her kind of fashion fix, to continue to love clothes, but to make sure that she's only adding 12 items to her wardrobe a year. And she does occasionally sell some things off, but she's created such a great wardrobe that it's full of classic pieces she'll continue to wear over and over again. Now, she is generally buying those items new. I definitely prefer to buy things secondhand or from fully sustainable manufacturers, so that the things in my closet are things I feel really proud to wear, and I feel like I did the least damage possible. But for her, the least damage possible comes from consuming. So she was talking about what other kind of fashion rules do we follow in one of her comments, and I said, oh, I'm a big proponent of the one in, one out rule. And she responded back and very kindly said, not that you're doing this, but I don't love the one in, one out rule, because a lot of people just use it as a way to continue consuming. They say, oh, I just got rid of a ton of stuff, so now I have a bunch of room in my closet that I can fill with a bunch of new stuff. Or they say, okay, well, I really want this new thing. Do I need it? Is it going to add a lot of value to my closet? I don't know, but I'll just get rid of something else. Comment made me think, because I just had never really thought of the rule that way, and it absolutely makes sense. I cleared out a ton of shoes that I knew were no longer fully my style or were going to work out for me so well. It might change just slightly with pregnancy. And so, yeah, I have these gaps in my shoe closet. I have room to put more shoes now. Am I going to add in a ton of stuff? I've had stuff that's been on my wish list since before that happened that, yeah, I probably will add in, but I'm doing so very mindfully, not just, oh, I got rid of 20 pairs of shoes so I can add 20 more. No, I'm going to add, a couple more. So it was a really interesting way to think about it, and maybe the one in, one out rule isn't the smartest rule, isn't the one that I should continue to follow. For me as a reseller, it just makes a lot of sense. I had something in my closet. I wanted something that was higher quality, that was, I kind of upgraded throughout my fashion journey. I started with like mall brands, and then I would kind of upgrade. So that made sense to me because that's just what I had done. But is that the smartest thing to do? Not necessarily, right? Because overconsumption is one of the largest issues when it comes to sustainability. I thought that was a really interesting conversation, and I would love to know what you all think. Is the one in, one out rule a really good one we should continue to follow, or can it be problematic? Have you seen it work well for you, or have you used it almost as a crutch where it allows you to continue to buy more? As fashion lovers, we are probably going to buy more. And the point isn't to have like a no-buy year or to completely cut fashion out of our lives, because then it's no fun. Then it becomes something that we're really just having to kind of be on the grind about as opposed to actually enjoying. But if we're buying mindfully, then we can be continuing to promote and love fashion, but doing so in a way that's more sustainable. So yeah, I just thought all of that was really interesting. And then that leads into my second point, is how my buying has kind of changed in the past year, how my shopping habits have changed. And one of the biggest things is I am trying to take in less. So I used to need a lot of inventory to resell. Reselling was how I made a lot of my profit. But since I actually moved like a year and a half ago and I cut out a ton of stuff, I really am tired of having things that are kind of cluttering up. I don't like having a lot of stuff that I'm selling in my new space. I still have a lot of things for sale. I have like 60 or 70 things for sale, but I used to have like 150 to 200 at all times. And so I would buy more, I would take in more, whether it was from a thrift store or wherever it was going to be, or I was constantly buying things, and I would buy some things just to resell them. And yes, I'm continuing the circular economy and doing all of that great stuff, but is it really the best option? For me, it just became a huge amount of time that it took, and it was always a gamble on whether or not I was actually going to make profit. So instead, really a couple years ago, I kind of transitioned to well, I'm going to buy it because I think it might work for me, and if it doesn't work for me, not a big deal, I'll sell it. And I'm still kind of in that mindset, but now I'm just trying to buy less. I'm trying to bring less in with the knowledge that if it doesn't work for me, I can go ahead and sell it, which I think for me is helpful. It allows me to take more risks shopping online, especially secondhand, when you can't just return something. So that's kind of the mindset, kind of what's happening. Now, in the past year, things have changed. I can no longer just go into a store and try something on, feel the quality of it, know that it is something that I want. A lot of companies have also had some mindset shifts, which have been really nice to see. So there's been companies I've felt better about supporting, or places that I've wanted to support because maybe they've been struggling during the pandemic. So mixing that with trying to shop less can be a little bit difficult, especially because I feel like I'm getting a lot of stuff delivered to my house. Transportation of that isn't great, right? Shopping is becoming less of a leisurely activity that I kind of do with friends and more of this thing that I'm doing by myself while I'm shopping online. I like the digital aspect of fashion. I think that that's an interesting way to make fashion more accessible to a lot of people who maybe couldn't go to stores. Allows a lot of lower prices, a lot of direct-to-consumers to come out. So sustainably, that makes a lot of sense. But also I think it's so easy to just continue shopping when everything is online. So online shopping, right, pros and cons. But for me, not being able to try things on in store has definitely changed. But also in the midst of the pandemic, I also was pregnant and I couldn't buy things, and now all of a sudden I'm back to sort of my body. I mean, I don't at all have my body back. I'm still up about 20 pounds, but I'm able to not just wear maternity clothes. And my love of fashion has gotten even larger since I've become a mom. Fashion has been my escape. It's been my me time, and I just really, really value that. I love making content for you all. I love finding the perfect pieces. And I also just, there's a lot of times where I'm just kind of sitting there nursing or waiting for her to wake up or whatever it's going to be, where it's just really easy to shop. And I love shopping, so that's fine as long as I'm not buying everything. Getting knowledge about things is a good thing. For me, my just habits have changed the way that I shop. I've spent a lot more time researching because I've kind of had the ability to do that, and I've enjoyed doing that. I'm also wearing my clothes out less, so it seems a little silly to invest in work pieces or like really nice pieces when I'm basically wearing pajamas most of the time. But when I do get dressed up, even if it's just to film a video or take pictures or whatever, it does bring me joy. So my love of fashion has also blossomed, I guess, during this time. So because I cleared out so many things that aren't going to fit anymore, whether it's shoes or clothes, I want to fill those gaps, but I'm trying to be better about that. So I'm not following the one in, one out rule because I do have things on my wish list I want to find. And when something comes up on the pre-loved market, I don't want to feel like I can't buy it because I already bought something that month, right? Like I don't want that kind of constraint because that takes the joy and the fun out of it. But I do want to limit how much I got. I'm really surprised at how much I bought last year, especially because there was a large amount of the year, half the year, where I really didn't buy anything. So the fact that I had bought 42 items from like January to the beginning of March, basically like October to December, that was really surprising to me. It was more than I thought I'd taken in because I had cut back on my reselling so much. So I want to do less items than that. I'm looking to do 2 to 3 items a month. I know I've talked about this before, but that's kind of my goal. Is to have closer to like 25 to 30 maybe items a year. That's my goal. So we'll see. But yeah, my shopping habits have kind of changed. I'm really going to try to consume less and to invest in higher quality things, knowing that I'm going to have less that I'm reselling. So that part of Chicprofessor is kind of taking a little bit of a backseat. I still have quite a few things, but I also just kind of want to clear them out and really limit it. But I do want to continue to make, some profit and that sort of thing. So that's my mindset, and I just wanted to share that with you all. I found that comment so interesting, and it really kind of spiraled from there. Sorry for rambling, everybody. I hope that you enjoyed listening to my trains of thought. I would love to know what you think about all of it. Please do let me know that down below. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye.